Obedience training is all about communication. You have a dog, and you need to get the dog to understand how to communicate with you. And you need to understand how best to communicate with your dog. So we're going to break that down into the 3 most important levels of communication that you should take into consideration and work on. Okay? It starts with this right here, the leash or the lead. This one is the most effective tool of communication, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Second form of communication is this right here. And this has to do with what? Movement, gestures, things that the dog sees, right? That's the second level of communication. Third level of communication is come. Come. Yes, very good. Words, vocal communication. These are the 3 levels of communication that you need to work on to be able to have a dog that communicates very effectively in any situation. There's a 4th level which has to do with the e-collar, which is like a wireless leash, right? That's for more advanced training. But for basic purposes, focus on these 3, okay? The leash, movement, action, gestures, and then verbal commands, right? The most effective of these 3 forms of communication is the leash, and I'll tell you why. The leash gives you the opportunity to start communication with any dog. You can meet a dog for the first time ever. Dog doesn't know you. You don't know the dog. As long as you can get that dog on a lead, you can start to communicate. So if someone is handing the dog over to you, you can ask them nicely, please put him on a lead and then hand him over to me on the lead. So once you have him on the lead, then now there's an opportunity for you to communicate, okay? So I'm going to use Seppi here to demonstrate what I'm talking about. Seppi is a 4-month-old Bobo. She is here for basic obedience training. She's a little bit shy, but she's a good dog. She has a good personality, a playful character. She's open to adventure and all that, so she's a fun dog. She just needs warming up in new situations and new environments. And she's spending time here for the first time. So I'm going to be using Seppi to demonstrate what I'm talking about. Right now, I'm going to teach her the first line of communication with this leash right here, okay? And I'll do it first and then I'll explain. Good. 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 Very good. All right. So what I just did here was start to teach Seppi that whenever I pop the collar like that, follow me. Okay, so if I'm standing, obviously, yeah, she's gonna keep standing, right? But if I'm walking and I pop the collar, follow me, right? When I change the direction, I pop the collar and then she follows me. So I'm teaching her that whenever I do that, it means you get closer to me. Every time I do this, you get closer to me. If we're side by side and you're far and I do this, I want you to get closer. Yes, good. And if you're behind me and I do that, I want you to get closer. If you're in front of me and I do that, I want you to get closer. If you're on my right, I do that, I want you to get closer. That is all I'm communicating to her for now. Okay. Now, if I didn't have this on her, first time I've met her, I don't know her, she doesn't know me. Tell me, how would I be able to do this? It would be difficult. Okay, unless she just naturally likes me and then, you know, wherever I go, she follows, wherever I go, she follows. But let's say she's interested in other stuff. Maybe I don't even know her name, or maybe she doesn't respond to her name yet. You know, so how can I get her attention? If I'm calling and she's not responding and I start shouting, she might feel panicked and even go further away from me and think I want to harm her and start hiding, right? She can easily get confused and you can easily get frustrated. So to avoid all of that, usually for your very first interactions, you want your dog to have a lead or a leash on them, and then you take it from there and you can begin to teach your dog basic communication without using any physical gestures or any visual gestures or any vocal commands, right? I'm going to demonstrate another thing that I can easily teach Seppi right now. So I'm going to raise this up. So I'm applying pressure to her collar. I'm going to hold it up. I'm not applying too much pressure. Yes. And as soon as she sits, I'm going to mark it. Yes. So I'm going to do that again. So first, she's already gotten up. So she's already getting a hang of following me. So I mean, first demonstration was just to demonstrate. But then with the sitting, it's kind of new to her. So I'm going to do that again. So I'm going to raise this. I'm going to hold it and just wait. And as soon as she sits, I release it. As soon as she sits, I release it, right? I can even do this without saying yes to Mark by simply releasing it and then sending that indicator that, okay, whenever I do that, I want you to sit, because when I do that, I keep it there. You feel the discomfort, but as soon as you sit, the discomfort goes. So that is what I want you to do, okay? But I intentionally mark it because when you begin to teach the verbal commands or verbal cues, the first word that you want to use is the word to mark good behavior. In this case, yes, okay? So I'm gonna do that one more time. Pop this so she gets up, follows me. I'm gonna just turn around, walk around this ball with her, and come back to face you guys. And then when she gets here, I'm gonna raise this, I'm gonna hold it. So when she hesitates, I apply a little more pressure, little more effort, and I hold it there. When she starts to get uncomfortable, I don't increase, I just hold on to it. If you increase, she might get too uncomfortable. Yes. And then when she sits, I let go. So this is the third time, right? If I keep doing this, it's going to get to a point in time where she does it quickly. As soon as I raise, she sits. Yes. Good. Let's try one more time. Yes. Very good. So at this point, she's beginning to understand what that means. Okay. So when it gets perfect, so I yank for her to follow me. Let's walk back this way and come back this way. When it gets much, much better, then with the least amount of effort, as soon as she even feels a sensation, she will go into the position, and you're already beginning to see her get there. So you see, just taught her how to sit without talking, simply using the lead. And likewise, you can use it to begin to condition her on how to lie down by doing it in the opposite direction, holding on to it, waiting on her, slightly increasing the pressure, waiting on her to make a move. So the idea is when you hold it long enough, then eventually she'll make a move. She'll either get uncomfortable and try to get up, or she's going to give in and then try to lie down. So let's see what she does. She's fighting it. So when she fight, I just keep holding on to it. So the thing is, it can take a while, right? Because sitting is already a comfortable position for her. So now it's giving her a good grounding to fight this. And if you're not patient, I mean, after waiting this long, you just let go, you'll stop, and then she wouldn't get the opportunity to learn. But then you need to be patient, you need to be persistent, just hold on to it. You don't need to apply too much force, just enough to make sure that the pressure is constantly down and she can't fight it upward, right? Until she makes a choice. Okay, which way do I go? Do I go upward? When I go upward, I feel more pressure. What happens if maybe I go downward? She might decide to get up. She might decide to raise her hind limbs. And then when she does that, I'll go the other way to quickly put her back in a sit and then come down again until she goes down. So she's beginning to fight it. So let's see. So that was her first move, but she's come lower. So I'm just holding on to the pressure and waiting patiently. And this is what the first time always looks like, right? Always looks like this. So you just have to keep at it and then wait on her. She is the one who's going to decide. She is going to make her move. I can only imagine what's going through her mind right now. She's like, what's going on? What's this guy trying to do? So if your arm gets tired, you can switch hands. Make sure you maintain the pressure when you do. You can even use both hands like I'm doing right now, because with one hand I'm tired. She's a strong dog. So she's making a decision, she's making a choice, she's relaxing. Yes, good. Good, even though she went all the way like this. Yes, very good. I want her to understand that, yeah, this is the idea, okay? Good girl. And then we can walk. Let's go. So whenever she's lying down like that, the easy way to get her up is to go the other way and then pop like that. Yes, good, very good. So let's just try one more time. So you get the idea. So just like with the sits, if you notice, that's quick now, right? So just like with the sits, with this as well, you know, the more you do it, then the quicker she responds. Why do I feel like we're about to get a quick response with this one? So again, looks like we're going to have to wait a while. Patience is always key. So I'm just going to hold it there, and yes! And this time is even better than the last time. Yes, so she's beginning to get it. Very good. Good. All right, up. Let's go. This way. Come on, no, 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 no. She's like, no, I've had enough. Get up, 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 up. Let's go. Good, very good. So that language that I thought popping means follow me, I have to be consistent with it. So you notice when I popped, I tried to pop again and again and again. I didn't pull her, drag her, try to get her up like that. No. You want to just be sending the signal. Yo, don't you remember what this is? Don't you remember what this is? Don't you remember what this is? Don't you remember? Yes, that's what it is, right? That's how you work the language of the leash. Don't rush it. Don't be in a hurry. Don't drag your dog. It's never necessary. You know, just be persistent. And then when she gets it right, you mark yes to let her know she's on the right track. Okay. That's a good thing about having this, because you get the opportunity to try again and try again. Unlike when she's off and you're calling and you're getting tired. So I think that's enough of a demonstration with the leash. So the next thing now is the visuals and the gestures, right? So the gestures are most effective when you have something to entice your dog, like a treat. So I just gave her one to let her know that I have a bunch of treats on me. And so every time I stretch my hand out, there's something good in there. Now I'm going to use this to now begin to move her. So I'm introducing her to her very first gesture, which is to follow this lure. I call this the lure, right? Not just me, everyone calls it the lure. So you're luring your dog, she's following, and then yes, I reward. I mark, I give her a reward. And every time before she gets a treat, she needs to hear that marker to make sure that she knows she's doing the right thing. So I'm going to do that again. See that? So this is her first physical gesture that she is visualizing. Yes, right? So now you can begin to make it more dynamic. So I'm going to do this, and this time I'm going to slowly be raising it above her head. And then when she sits, yes, it's going to come down to her. So I'm introducing a new gesture, which is something like that. And believe it or not, she's registering that visually. So I'm going to lure her again. We're going to go this way. And then I'm going to do that again. And look, yes. So now her response to this gesture is going to be to sit. Because this gesture gets her attention upward and then compels her to go into a sit, right? And that's why I use it. But because it has that effect on her and she's registering it, it becomes a very effective tool eventually when it becomes second nature to her, because I've done it again and again and again. So I'm going to keep doing it slowly at first. And then when she gets better at it, yes, very good. I'll do it faster, right? Good. Get her attention. So you always want to make sure you have her attention first. And when she's engaging it, I'm holding on to it. I'm not letting go. Then I take it away gradually up like that. And yes. And because they register gestures, you want to be very intentional about what gesture you use for the action and be consistent with it. You don't want to use this one time and the next time you're doing that, or you are doing something like that. It's going to confuse it. All for sits, that's going to be confusing. You want to be consistent. So if I go like this and I get the sit, every time I'm going to go like this. Every time I'm going to go like this, from her to my face, from her to my face. And then when I mark yes, back to her, and she gets the treat, right? So you want to be intentional and you want to be consistent with specific gestures for specific reactions or responses, right? So if I were to now also teach her the down command with a gesture, just like we did with the sit. So now she's in a sit, yes. Let me give her a treat for that. So now I'm going to hold a gesture, and then I'm going to engage and then try to lower her down all the way as low as I can. Sometimes the very first try will get her to lie down completely, especially if she's done that with the help of the leash like I demonstrated earlier. So let's see. She's trying to go down. Yes, and then I give it to her, right? So this is the very first time I've lured her with a treat into the down position. And I feel like the reason why she responded by going down completely the first time is because we already started off by introducing her with this. I also feel like the reason why she got it easy the first time in the sit with a treat is, again, because we started by introducing her to the sit with this, okay? So that's how effective this guy is. And then you introduce the rest. So with the down, because it goes like that and I'm luring her, what I eventually do is, when I'm luring her, I begin to bring this finger out and then turn my hand that way. While she can see the treat, I'm sticking my finger out to make sure she sees that finger, so that eventually this becomes the gesture. But for now, nothing happens. For now, she still doesn't get it yet. But if I start to lure her like that, you can see my finger, can't you? Yes. Then gradually, I can fade the lure farther and farther until I can stand up and then do that, and she goes down. Right, so that's how the visual gestures work. And then when you practice them more and more, then you can use them to lure your dogs into positions like the heel. So I've lured her to my side. So if I'm going to teach her to heel, this is what I'll do first. Then I'll raise it above her head to try to get her to sit on my side just the way she sat in front of me. So, yes. So when she's on the side, the gesture is just to raise it above her head. And then usually, I would even close my hand like that, right? It's almost like I'm shifting a gear backward. Sorry, a gear, not a gear, right? So that would be my gesture. So if I lower her, she's on my side, I close it. I close it, I do that, I want her to sit. But for now, I have to go slowly. And when she's sitting, I'll close it. Yes. And then I give her the treat. So I'm being intentional. I want my gesture to look like you come to my side when I do this, you sit. But I can't just go straight to doing this. I have to first lower her, and when she's about to sit, I do this. So she registers this imagery as well. Then when she gets good at it, anytime I lower her here and she gets here and I do that, like I'm pulling my handbrake back, she's gonna sit and it's gonna look so cool, right? So that's how that's how visual actions and gestures work. So that's the second level of communication. Now the third level of communication, which is always the most preferred because you want to actually talk to your dog, is verbal communication. So now because she gets this, I can use this, for example, to introduce verbal communication. So if I want to use the leash, when I get her over here, I'll say sit, and then I'll do that. Yes. So I'm teaching her to sit. Sit. Yes. Sit. Yes. So every time I do that, I'm registering the word. I'm associating it with the action. Come. Yes. Come. Yes. So I'm registering come too as well. Come. Yes. Come. Yes. Good. Sit. Position this properly. Sit. Then I'm just going to hold it just like the first time and then wait on her. And then as soon as she sits, I'll let go. Yes. Come. Yes. Come. Yes. Come. Yes. Sit. Yes. Right? So I can use the leash to start to introduce a command by simply saying the command the moment I use the leash to compel her to do that particular action. So if it were down, so I'll say down and I'll do that until she goes down, right? But usually you want to introduce the verbal cue when the response to the leash is much, much better. You don't want to introduce it when there are long delays, like if we are doing it down right now. You want to introduce it when you get to a point where as soon as you do this, she goes down. Then you can start to add the verbal cue. Same with the treat. So now I can use the treat and the physical action to also enforce the command. So if I lower her and she gets here, when I'm going to take it away upward, I'll say sit. Yes. So that looked like my dog already knows the sit command, didn't it? But the truth is no. This is the first time I have said sit whilst doing this gesture with her and she's responding. Come. Yes, very good. This is the first time I'm saying come with a hand movement and she's responding. Why? Because she already follows the hand movement, right? And the same thing with a sit. Why? Because she already does what? She already follows the hand movement with the sit and no treats in my hand, just the hand movement. So that is how you get in the verbal cues as well. And by the time you reach that stage, you've reached the third stage of communication and you need to cover all three, okay? One of the main reasons why it is important to cover all three, especially with the lead, is because not only does it make it easy for you to begin, but it also saves you when you're in a situation where nothing else works. So if you're outdoors taking a walk with a dog and something crazy happens all of a sudden, there are some two dogs on the side and then, you know, they're out of control and they're trying to get her attention, they're being aggressive, and then she's also responding and she's trying to lunge at them because you've built her to be a confident dog. And you know it's going to be chaos if they clash and you want to get her attention. When you do the pop the first time, second time, by the third, fourth time, she'll snap out of it. And when she snaps out of it, you can further enforce your authority by doing that and then getting her to go into that sit, and then you let go. And when you let go and she tries again, you immediately put her back in that sit. No talking, no gestures, just the lead. And you're able to get that level of control at a time where you really need something that saves the situation. So these are the three levels of communication that you need to work on with your dog at all costs. I hope this video was helpful. If you enjoyed it, if you appreciate it, please hit the like button. Leave a comment with any remarks, any questions, any criticism. I appreciate all of it. Share this with someone who might find it useful, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Good girl.